1995 has been a year of rebuilding work so far for Colin McMillan, the highly talented former WBO World Featherweight Champion, whose brief reign was interrupted by a serious shoulder injury, and it's proved extremely difficult to overcome that. McMillan is determined to battle back, though, and he's definitely taking on a youngster who could give him plenty of trouble in Dean Phillips, a young pressure fighter who may have the style to trouble the stylist McMillan. The commentary at the London Arena by Glenn McCrory and Ian Dark.
Former world featherweight champion Colin McMillan continues on the comeback trail here after his bad injury problems, up against a fearless pressure fighter, a little teenager called Dean Phillips here. Might be an interesting clash of styles, this. Phillips has won 7 of his 9 fights so far. McMillan, well, you know about him. He's fast, he's got great reflexes, he can be a beautiful boxer to watch. Caught by the right hand there, though, by Phillips, who's got the reputation of being quite useful and might make this interesting. McMillan boxing out of the southpaw stance. Interestingly. I wonder if we're going to see him switch hitting here.
Phillips being the pressure fighter, he's going to come forward, he's going to try and take the fight on McMillan. That usually is what McMillan likes, because that usually gives him the room and the speed just to get out the way and to use his fast counters and to look good and to look at his best. So this should be a good fight.
Colin McMillan would love to get into the shake-up and the arguments surrounding Steve Robinson and Nassim Hamed. Didn't really look at his sharpest, in all honesty, the other month against Peter Judson. May have caught that fight on Sky. Made a good sharp start here, though.
Yes, he's looked good in this opening round. Very, very quick. See, he's stepping about, landing punches from all sorts of angles. Very, very skillful.
The question with McMillan is, can he get back to the top of the mountain? He put up really one of the sweetest displays of boxing you're ever likely to see when he won the world title.
Yes, McMillan's timing looks very good in this opening round. He's just moving in and out of distance and landing with that jab. Very, very accurate, and his timing's very good.
Found the range straight away, McMillan, with that sharp jab of his. Started southpaws, gone back to orthodox in this opening round. And here comes the pressure now from young Dean Phillips.
Well, that's the sort of work that Phillips has got to do, but he's got to try and keep it on for a long step.
Oh, right hand from Phillips, and McMillan is on the floor. Well, what about that in the opening round? The bell comes right at the end of the round. McMillan has been boxing quite beautifully, and then, well, isn't that just boxing? The right hand put him down, and that was certainly not in his script.
Amazing. I was just saying that was the sort of work Phillips had to do. And he pulled a big right hand out. Perfect.
And this, Glenn, you're about to see again, is the first time McMillan has ever been put down in his career.
And didn't he get it right on the point of the chin? Beautiful right hand, just as McMillan was going to come in as well. So he got twice the power into it. With a good right hand, and that's a big shock for Colin McMillan in the first round. That'll give Dean Phillips a lot of confidence, and we could see a very explosive start to the next round.
Well, the question now is, has a minute been long enough for McMillan to recover from that? He certainly looked all right going back to his corner, but this now is intriguing. Second round, McMillan, the former WBO World Featherweight Champion in the green and yellow, and 19-year-old Dean Phillips giving him real problems.
Well, now McMillan's got to make sure his head is clear. He's got to keep out of of harm's way for a little while and then just get himself back into this fight and keep that chin tucked away. Still looks a little bit open. He's carrying that left hand a little bit too low.
That might be a devastating blow to McMillan's confidence. It really was a peach of a right hand.
He's now got a bit of authority on that in the fight. He can't let that slip away. He's really got to try and keep the pressure on McMillan.
Oh, a good left hook as well from Phillips. And McMillan on the run a little bit. He does tend to rely on his reflexes for defense, McMillan. He's that kind of fighter. But this youngster's got some hand speed, and he's getting through. Not all the time, but enough.
He punches very fast, Phillips. He's really got a bit of sting in them hands.
Well, don't rule out the upset here. Halfway through round 2. McMillan forced to cover up on the ropes. These are bad moments for him. Crisis in the fight for McMillan. Down in round 1, under pressure in round 2. Now that was a slip. That was a slip. He threw the right hand and just lost his balance in the corner. Now he's gone back to southpaw again. There are times when this fellow McMillan can make punching look like poetry. He's so fast, finds so many different angles. You see, that was brilliant.
Yes, very good work there. Some beautiful counters. He turned his man on the rope. Very well indeed.
But Judson now knows he has the power. Phillips, rather, is confused with the last opponent of McMillan. Phillips knows he's got the power to maybe get through and really hurt Colin McMillan. And what a win it would be for him if he was to pull it off.
Yes, that would be a great result, but now you see the best of McMillan. He's working well at the end of that round.
Well, McMillan will feel considerably better at the end of the second round than he did at the end of the first. He came back pretty well there, although he was under pressure in the middle part of the round. Certainly not having things all his own way at all here, not by a long, long chalk.
No, Phillips is really, he's come out, he means business, he wants to win this fight, and this would be obviously this would be a fantastic win if he can get it. But I think he's got to keep the pressure more on McMillan, because when he gives McMillan any room, McMillan is very good. This was a good part, good left hook here from Phillips. He kept the pressure on well, got McMillan into the corner, and had a good part, the first part of this round. Here we see it. Really laying into McMillan. McMillan works well. He stayed in the corner a little bit too long, but then got out of it very well indeed. Moving his head and trying to cover up, but you see Phillips still getting through.
And the Welshman from Canefley getting through with a right hand again right at the start of the round. McMillan is one of those fighters, well, like Ali, like Harold Graham, Sugar Ray Leonard, who dances around with the gloves down almost at hip level. That's his style, but it does mean the reflexes have got to be very, very good.
But when he's in full flow, McMillan, he's one of the most stylish boxers around. But he's got to be careful with this guy, because he's a fast puncher, and he's got that grit and determination. He's really looking for McMillan's chin.
McMillan, this articulate, likable man who's a leading light in the Boxers Union, the Professional Boxers Association. Desperate to rebuild his own career and get back to where he was around the time when he so clearly outboxed Maurizio Steccia to become a world champion. lost it with a shoulder injury. Although he picked up off form on the night and failed in another world title bid against Steve Robinson when he again really looked to be troubled by the shoulder, frankly. And now he's under pressure again here from Phillips. He's getting through with those fiery headshots. McMillan's not avoiding enough of them for my liking.
No, he's taken quite a few. He just waits a little bit, Phillips. He lets McMillan do his thing, and McMillan moves about looking good, doing nice accurate jabs, but then all of a sudden Phillips jumps into action with some very strong hooks, and he looks as if he worries McMillan when he does so.
Good right hand, that, from the former world champion, but oh, that buckled the knees of McMillan, the right hand again. And then a left hook too. Well, this really is a worrying fight from McMillan's point of view.
Yes, McMillan's having to take some very strong punches at times.
Good looking body shot too. He sets himself well for the punches, does Dean Phillips. Trained by Colin Breen. Well, look at this again now.
This is where he just comes alive halfway through the fight and has a barrage of punches. Really gets a hold of McMillan. You know McMillan's in a bit of trouble there.
He did buckle his knees, didn't he? There, right hand.
That was the shot.
I think Phillips won that round.
I think he did. He's got the aggression and he's pushing forward. And this is it's a dangerous fight for McMillan.
Fourth round. I think with the knockdown in the first round, you'd have to give Phillips that round too. He must be ahead on the fight, I would say, at this point. Fourth round. McMillan's got work to do. Let's have a look at Glenn McCrory's scorecard. Yes, he has Phillips ahead too.
That's right. He's just doing enough. He's just getting the better of him. Of course, with a knockdown, you've got to have him a little bit ahead. Upon the fight now where McMillan's just getting on his boxing and picking his punches.
You're just waiting really for the next storm to erupt from this 19-year-old.
Again, another good left hook from Phillips.
It's full of spirit, full of self-belief. Phillips, he's come into this like a young man who believes that he can claim a famous scalp.
It's a little shout out every time he lets the punch go. You see he's getting as much elite punch as he can.
Right hand again gets through from Phillips. Not the same effect as before. Certainly couldn't accuse McMillan of taking easy fights. He's got the time to hit there too.
Yes, he had to use all his skills to get away from that little onslaught.
Phillips has grown in confidence and self-belief. McMillan has lost some since that very sharp start he made.
Yes, I think obviously that must have took a little bit of confidence out of him, because in the first round he was moving around at the beginning of the round beautifully. I mean, he was picking his punches wonderfully until he got tagged. But still some good skills from McMillan in this round. Certainly enough to win it if he can keep it up.
Last quarter of a minute of round 4. Studio 8 rounds. Don't try. Well, McMillan's round, I think.
The TV premiere of Malice. Some things you never see coming.
The thrust neutral's an interesting one. 5th round. You still need the identification. McMillan in the green and yellow trunks. Sweet C, as he calls himself. Glenn has it level at this point. Have to give McMillan credit as well, down for the first time in his career, but he got up from it okay and recovered from it okay, didn't he?
Yes, he showed good character in this fight, because he's in with a tough young fighter who's rattled him on the chin and put him on the deck for the first time in his career, and yet he's got up to carry on doing some beautiful boxing. But he's got to be careful with Phillips.
He did, of course, have the good fortune that the knockdown came right at the end of the round, so there was a quick minute's break after it. But to be fair to him, he did look okay when he walked back to the corner. Second half of this fight now, McMillan will have learned new respect for this man. That was a good, sharp, right uppercut from McMillan. Shouts from the McMillan corner of "don't let him get set." Don't try, turn it. They're also shouting out to him, "don't trade."
Yes, he's got to keep on the move. He's just got to keep moving from side to side. Don't let Phillips get set, and keep picking, keep him off balance. Because when he gets set, you see the damage he can do.
Starting to look a little swollen around the face, Phillips, as these jabs keep thudding home. Millen's come through that bad patch. There's blood by the mouth of Phillips as well now. He seems to have established control again. But it's one of those fights where there could easily be another mood swing.
Well, he's certainly, McMillan's got Phillips' respect in the punching power now, and he's keeping on his bike, and he's really just trying to outbox him and keep out the way. I think he'd be happy to get through.
Right hand got through. Sorry to interrupt you, Glenn, from Phillips.
Yes, I think he'd be happy to get through this one, Ian. I think if he can box and get a nice punch decision here, he'd be pleased with that, McMillan. Again, the head rock back from Phillips. He gets some power into them punches.
McMillan's got to stay mobile. Now that's where he doesn't want to be. On the ropes, he's going to have to cover up. That's where Phillips would want him. And McMillan nods to him in a sign of what can only be described as real respect at the end of the round.
There's a good end of that round from Phillips. He got through with some good punches again. McMillan's got to be careful of that. And you just see him working on a lump that's come up a little bit on Phillips's right eye. But all the way through that round, McMillan boxed beautifully. But then right at the end, Phillips piles the pressure on. He's always dangerous.
A hard night's work for Colin McMillan.
And this is Phillips right at the end where he just has this good spell. McMillan cannot rest for a second. He's got to concentrate all the time. You see, he's shipping. He's trying to get his hands up on the sides of his head, but he's still shipping some heavy punches there.
Round 6. We wonder whether this 19-year-old will be able to nail McMillan again. McMillan concentrating on his silky boxing skills. Signs that the right eye of Phillips is closing. Testimony to the sharp work that McMillan's done, particularly with that rapier-like jab of his.
good from McMillan. Still moving around the ring. Nice, light, snappy punches thrown out. But you see Phillips, he's looking for the big one. He's trying to plant his feet.
Yes, he's just waiting the opportunity. McMillan's reflexes good enough there.
Yes, I think that's one of the problems that Phillips has. He's a good young fighter, but at times he's a little bit stationary with the head. And he'd do better just to move his head from side to side a little bit more.
McMillan's speed and class is such that he would be a match for anybody in the world, you feel, for this kind of stuff. Sniping with those blurringly fast punches. They're shouting at him again, McMillan, don't trade.
Yes, every now and again when McMillan starts to land with a few combinations, you get the feeling that he wants to stand and he wants to try and trade with Phillips. And I think if he does that, it's a big mistake.
What a gutsy performance, though. What a really good performance from Dean Phillips, whose stock will definitely rise as a result of this contest, no matter what else might happen in it. Last half minute of round 6.
Yes, he's only 19 years of age. You kind of sense that he's obviously he's got things to learn, but you sense he can go a lot further than this.
Class again from McMillan, bringing the right uppercuts into play now. But he knows he can't afford to take chances with this youngster. And that's what's keeping this plot very interesting. Seventh round. At this point, both Glenn and I would have McMillan ahead by, what, a couple of rounds, I should think.
That's right, 2 rounds.
Exactly how Glenn's got it, 59 points to 58. Looks a bit low, yeah. The referee certainly taking that view as well. Low punch from Phillips, who acknowledges the fact. Can he not find another punch, Phillips, to get McMillan going again?
Well, he's got to pick his work rate up a little bit, try and get closer to McMillan, put McMillan under a bit of pressure, because he's just given him a little bit too much room, and obviously when McMillan has room, he can do as he pleases and show his boxing skills.
Phillips is the son of a boxer. His dad, Des, who's also trained him a bit as well. At 17, Dean here was a world junior kickboxing champion. His sister, I'm told, also boxes and gives him a pretty good workout. That's sharp boxing by McMillan. Switching the angles, fast hands. That's his trademark.
But the one thing McMillan hasn't got to do is he hasn't got too confident that he ever tries to trade with Phillips, because I feel that could be a big mistake. He's got to keep doing what he's doing. Use his mobility, use his speed and reflexes, and most of all, not get tagged.
Yeah, he's a sniper, isn't he, McMillan? You're not quite sure where some of the punches have actually come from.
Yes, he uses his hand speed and also his leg movement very well, because he's always giving angles, he's always stepping up to the right, to the left. You're never really in straight lines, and that's, you see how he just ducked under there and stepped up to the right and then counted. But again, Phillips lands with good shots.
Right at the end of the round, and here goes Phillips again. McMillan caught on the ropes, needs to get out of there and does. But just when you think McMillan is right back in total control, Phillips gets through again. And now there's trouble by the left eye. Under the left eye of McMillan, he's cut. Well, this is proving a pretty torrid night for the former world champion. Well, he's winning the fight, and I think he won that round as well. Phillips came on strong too late in the round, really, to steal it away from him, but he did inflict that cut. So now, McMillan's been down, he's been cut, and it's a rocky road to travel for him.
Yes, it certainly is. He knows he's been in a very tough fight here, and he's not out of all the danger yet, because Phillips, every now and again, he can just turn it on. And it was a very good finish. There you see Phillips landing with the right hand, some good punches right at the end. You see the head, beautiful uppercut, really putting the pressure on.
And in the corner, Phillips had a really good right uppercut as well, wasn't it? They're saying to him, 3 minutes left, you can win it. Last round. Now then, we might see Phillips here really going for broke.
Well, so far Phillips has relied on the last 20 seconds to go for broke. Really, he needs longer than that, because he needs a sustained attack to really get McMillan in trouble.
McMillan, as we've seen already, is not an easy man to nail, is he? You can go for him, but when you go, he's not there most of the time, like that.
He's a very good boxer, tremendous skills.
How much of a worry do you think it is for him and his camp that he has been shaken up and floored in this fight by a chap who's just 19 and only got 9 fights under his belt?
Well, I think obviously it's a worry, but I think it's maybe not so much for McMillan not boxing well. I think he's boxing kind of superbly, but I think, you know, we found somebody in this team, Phillips, who can fight a little bit. I mean, 19 years of age, very tough, and he's really taken it to Colin McMillan. I think it's been a tremendous performance from him.
Now it's interesting, this dazzling skills from McMillan as always, but one or two questions as he's caught again. And he throws so many punches, McMillan. He's never really had Phillips in any kind of trouble in the fight. He's heavily outscored him. Phillips has often had McMillan in trouble, and I think what's happened here, a gum shield's come out.
Yes, Phillips's gum shield's come out, but he hasn't got very long left in the fight. I think there's only about 10 seconds left.
Quickly put it back in again. A matter of seconds left. Oh, he comes out and tries the right hand. Lands, McMillan takes it all right. There's the bell to end it. They both walk to the referee. They both want the decision. McMillan gets it. Not all the crowd agree with that. It was a great effort by Dean Phillips, and that was one of those fights really where, although he lost, in terms of reputation, marquee value, and on any other front you care to mention, he was a big winner in that fight, really.
That's right, he was a big winner, because people will want to see Dean Phillips. I think there's somebody there to watch. He was very good. I think, the crowd are booing, but McMillan was a decent winner. His boxing, I mean, you've got to look at that. He was picking up points all the time, and he did that. He was certainly a winner for me. But a great performance from Phillips.
I agree with you. I think McMillan won it.
Dean Phillips, 78 points. Colin McMillan at 79 points. The winner, Colin McMillan.
4 rounds to 2, with 2 even was how they scored it. But McMillan floored for the first time in his career, and I think the questions remain really about whether he can get back to World Championship level.
Looks like being a long road back, doesn't it?